World number one problem. The number one problem is narcissism. Narcissism is such a serious disease, psychological disorder. It has havoc. It has serious consequences. And the number of narcissists is increasing. What do you think? Actually, it's not increasing, but the thing is that a lot of narcissists were dormant, especially the female in Bangladesh. A lot of girls, a lot of women were narcissists in the past at the same time. But the thing is that in Bangladesh, women had no power. They were powerless. As they were powerless, what happened? They could not compete with male folks. The wives could not compete with husbands. The thing is that in the past, women were suppressed, repressed, they had no liberty, they had no freedom, they had no human rights. So the thing is that they were sandwiches, they were in trouble in father's house, in their in-laws' house. In both places they were in serious situations. What happened? When they were married, the husbands were cruel, their parents-in-law were cruel, their sisters-in-law, brothers-in-law were cruel in most cases. And that's why what happened, the women were very unhappy, suppressed, oppressed, repressed, but they could not get any opportunity in their own mother's house, because there you had they had number of members. They had no space in their father's house, they had no space in their husband's house. They were sandwiches. That's why they could not express their liberty, they could not express their narcissism. But in this period of time, what happens? Women are powerful, men are powerful, girls are powerful, and when the husband's not in good the husbands were not good in the minds of their wives. What happened? They told their parents, right? Suppose Joey got married, and 30 years ago she got married. At that time, the women's liberty was very tiny. Their freedom was tiny. Even when Joey was a narcissist, she could not do anything. She had to do whatever her husband said, whatever her parents-in-law said, whatever her brother-in-law, father-in-law, whatever. She could not do anything. She had to tolerate, because she had no space to get back to her own house, to her mother's house, to her father's house. So she had to tolerate. But now, a modern girl, Joey, she is educated, she got married, she has one brother or one sister, she has her father and mother. What happened? If anything happens, if she was a little bit angry with her husband, she called her parents and they said, "Oh, come home. You don't need to stay in your in-laws' house or with your husband." Because the parents don't want their daughter to get divorced. That's true. Their parents wanted her to be happy with her husband. But still, as she complains against her husband, the parents are now they're taking the side of their own daughter. They have dormant wishes that they miss their daughter, they miss their grandchildren. So if she comes home, they will get their daughter, they will get their grandchildren. And as their house is empty, they welcome, right? So double benefits. So that's why when the girls, if Joey is a narcissist, she has space, she has power, she has liberty, she can do things she wants. So now she is powerful. She leaves her husband's house and stays with her parents in her own father's house or mother's house. This is how the women can now show their narcissism. So in the past, women were also narcissistic in the same way, but they had no liberty. They couldn't express their narcissism. Everybody knows narcissism means you love yourself. Narcissus was a cowboy. He was tending his cows, and one time he saw his photo, his image in the water. And then Narcissus understood that he was handsome. So he kept watching his face reflected by the pond water. And then he understood that he was handsome and everything was fine with him. So he could not find fault with him. He could not think that anyone else is as handsome as he was. So this is how Narcissus, as his name was, the term narcissism has come. So one who is narcissistic, maybe little, then it's not a big problem. But if somebody is a seriously narcissistic character, then he becomes a malignant narcissist. So in the past, husbands were cruel against their wives. They were suppressed, repressed, and tortured. But wives could not do anything. But now wives have their own father's house to live in. So in every way, the girls are now in an advantageous environment. So she is quite easy. It's very easy for her to combat with her husband. And this is how the narcissism has been exposed. So the thing is that the number of narcissists may not be increasing, but the thing is that as women have liberty, women can show their power. That's how they turn narcissists. And as a lot of broken families, wives divorce their husbands, they get even the dowry, they get the money, wedding money, right? So a lot of advantages, and the girls have power to have job, they have education to get a job, they can be independent, they don't need to depend on their husbands. And their brother, maybe only one brother, maybe only one sister. So their parents are now even waiting for their daughter, because her parents feel lonely at home. They miss their daughter, they miss their grandchildren. And when the girl comes to the father's house, no problem. There are many boys who takes them, who give money, give flexi, send gift, they ask for outing, and they even tell them to come to Chinese restaurant, lavish restaurants, a lot of money, food, everything is there. So she has no problem without her husband, everything is fine, and she needed children and she has got children. That's why the number of narcissists may not be increasing, but the thing is that women have liberty, women have power to exercise, and that's how women get divorced. They even divorce their husbands, spouses. It's very rampant in Dhaka city, Bangladesh. Overall situation is quite upside down. So now men are in danger. They are suppressed, they are oppressed. Even a little thing happens, then their wives go to their father's house. There's no power. So in the past, women had no power. In the present, men have no power, because women, you have mobile phone, you have internet connection, Facebook, YouTube, whatever, TikTok, and boys are after girls, because boys want new and new girls. So they always jump towards their girls, and they spend a lot of money, they take care of their girlfriends. So many advantages that the female folk, the women, the children are having. So it's a serious thing, very difficult. And in Afghanistan, you know, women are suppressed still. There are other places women are also suppressed. In Afghanistan, women are barred from going to school. There are a lot of things. Even when they go to school, they can only go to a school where boys don't study. There is no co-education. So severe things. And in the world, probably the same picture. In China, you have a lot of girls in demand. So boys are not in demand, because boys always go forward towards any girl. So girls much more in demand than boys are. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.